the Louvre, Paris, France. This historic museum houses perhaps the most significant legal text in the ancient world. This stela features the Babylonian god Shamash talking to King Hammurabi, and below them, carved in cuneiform text, are the laws they gave to their people. It is called the Code of Hammurabi.
Hammurabi, without a doubt, is one of the great geniuses of the ancient world. And of course, he is famous not just for being the ruler of ancient Babylonia, but for coming up with what is called the Code of Hammurabi, which was the first written legal record.
It's a primitive document compared to what we have now, but he had a whole system of order and how taxes were collected and various civil principles, and the rather famous punishment, an eye for an eye, which has been modified over the years, but that he had a system.
The Code of Hammurabi begins with a prologue in which the king boasts of his great deeds. But he also writes that the code itself was dictated to him by the Babylonian god Shamash.
The great King Hammurabi went into a trance, and God began dictating this incredible document and channeling it through the great King Hammurabi, who is speaking it in a voice very unlike his own, language unlike his own. It's all coming from God. And then when Hammurabi wakes up from his trance, the scribes read it back to him, and he has no memory of dictating it. It all came from God, and it is brilliant. An important part is that Hammurabi did not claim authorship. He knew this was not of his making, of his intelligence.
The system of law that comes through the Code of Hammurabi is so intrinsic to the basic moral understandings of how to run a society that much of it is still preserved in some form in our modern-day legal system. This suggests that the Code of Hammurabi comes from a very advanced point of origin.
Think about it. Moses, Abraham, Noah, the prophets, Jesus. A lot of the laws, the rules, the customs, the traditions that we have are based upon individuals claiming to have been told something by a deity.
Is it possible that the course of human civilization has been determined not by history's most profound thinkers, but by some external force that was guiding them? The ancients were convinced they knew the answer. In fact, the Latin word genius is where the term genie, or supernatural creature, comes from.
In the ancient world, the idea of genius had much more autonomy than our modern view. The genie, which had a life of its own, a kind of spirit or daimon, entered you. You had a relationship with the genie, and it was really the source of the brilliance. You were a channel, you were a host, you were involved, but it was not as personal, and the ownership wasn't as great.
The Greeks believed that they were inspired by the muses. So what caused a musician to come up with a new tune? What caused a writer to come up with a new story? It was the spirit of a muse that went inside the person and caused that person to become creative. And we see that in the word inspire, in spirit.
When we say that I'm looking for my muse, you are looking for the key with which to unlock this kingdom of creativity that resides within each and every living being. Is it possible, by reaching this altered state of consciousness, to come in contact with beings or with entities that are of those different realms? I think that this is possible.
In the ancient world, it was really believed that people were influenced from outside to have special thoughts, to have special inspiration and genius-type ideas. And it was coming from outside of you, so you have to wonder if these ideas aren't possibly some kind of thoughts that are being projected into your mind, possibly by extraterrestrials.
Perhaps behind all of this is a belief that people were directly influenced by extraterrestrial beings who gave them immense inspiration or profound knowledge that then they were able to share with others.